YouTube channel. It's Fabiola Gomez, and if you can just click and like my videos. Also, I'm at Fabulosity on Instagram, so go ahead and follow me. I know it's been a minute since I filmed my last video, but work is in the way. But we're gonna make two dishes that are really quick and easy. One's gonna be carne de res con papas and chipotle sauce. And what I'm gonna use is about almost 2 pounds of the flank meat, and I just cut it in little strips. And then it's about 5 potatoes. I'm not even gonna peel them. I'm gonna do them like this. I already washed them really well. I have a whole onion, 2 tomatoes, the chipotle sauce, and then this is tomato sauce in this. And this is gonna be just for the meat. For the rice, we're gonna use about 1.5 cups of rice, tomato sauce. We're gonna use garlic, which we're also gonna use for the meat, salt, and this is a little bit of North Suiza. So let's get started with everything, okay? For the potatoes, I'm just gonna do a quick chop. I don't want them too big and I don't want them too small. And then I'm gonna do the same thing with all of them. We're gonna cut the onion, and I'm just gonna cut it in half. And I'm gonna just cut that edge off and just cut it in long strips, like half moons. See? And then we're gonna put it in the pot to saute with a little bit of oil. So there we go. And we're just gonna do a quick chop. It doesn't have to be perfect, but I'm just gonna do it like that. And then I'll put them in some oil. Here we go. I'm gonna put in all of the onions that we just cut. Just kind of put them in there. And then I'm gonna keep them on low flame with a little bit of oil. And then just bring them to like a crystallization. And in the meantime that I'm doing this, I'm gonna go back and cut the potatoes because I'm gonna incorporate them in there at the same time. Okay, so this is how all of your little potatoes should look. Some are bigger than others, but I'm gonna incorporate them into my pot. My onions, as you can see, they're already browning a little and they smell delicious. I love the smell of these onions. And I'm just gonna put them in all together. And I'm just gonna let them heat up a little bit and brown a little bit. And in the meantime, I'm gonna show you how I start the sauce for this. You're just gonna love this recipe because it's so simple and easy to make. And it's a hearty dish. And a little bit goes a long way, honestly. Tomatoes, it doesn't matter how they go, because they're all going in the blender anyway. I'm just gonna do like a rough little chop there in pieces. And to this, we're gonna add, it's about this size, garlic cloves. We're gonna add some salt. And I'm gonna add a little bit and I'll go back and taste. You always want to taste your final product. And then this is a little bit of North Suiza. It's about 2 tablespoons. We're going to add the tomato sauce. So I'm going to cut it right here to make sure it all comes out. And I'll add some water in it to make sure that everything's coming out. And then we're going to add the chiles. Let me get a spoon here. So this is all depends on how spicy you want it and how spicy the chilies are. Sometimes they're a little bit spicier than others, but all my kids like hot sauce, so they'll be okay with it. The thing is that you want to get that smoky taste of the chipotles. There we go. And then I'm just going to add some water to this. About that much because you want to make sure that it's saucy but not too watery, and you don't want it really heavy either. I'm just going to add some water in there. Sorry about that. Mix it up, make sure all that tomato sauce comes out, and we're going to blend. I'm just going to blend it until everything seems like a puree. I'm checking the potatoes and the onions. And at this point, I'm going to add the meat so it can continue cooking and it'll build up all the juices together. So I'm just going to drop in all of my meat that I already have all previously chopped. And I'm just going to mix it in there. And then I'm going to let that cook for a while. And in the meantime, while this is cooking, we can start the rice. So as you can see, simple recipes. And we're just gonna let it cook there for a while until all of it comes together. And I'm just gonna turn up the heat just a little bit. There we go. I'm gonna set it a little bit of high heat just to warm up the pot. And I'm gonna add oil. This is, I always save my oil. Sometimes it's got like flavors already in there, which will help. And I'm just gonna let it bring to a little high heat. And I'm gonna add these 2 cloves of garlic. Only 2 because the one's not too big. And I'm just gonna equal it out and bring that to a boil. Not to a boil, I'm sorry. To a sizzle, to a sizzle. And in the meantime, I'm also checking my meat, making sure it cooks evenly from all sides. Just gonna continue cooking there. Okay, so my garlic is if you want to come in here a little bit more so you can show them. It's not burned, but it's already like popping locking right there. So we're gonna add the rice. And we're gonna just add the whole rice. And we want the rice to brown because it'll make a nice fluffy rice. So I'm just gonna incorporate that with the oil that's already in there. And I'm just gonna let it set for a while so that it can start cooking from all sides. In the meantime, we're gonna check our meat. Gotta be a multitasker because you don't want nothing to burn. So there we go. So I was gonna cook last week, but we went to Rosarito for a couple of days with my husband. And on the way back, we were in line. We were on that borderline for 9 hours. I'm not even joking. Like we ate there, we shopped, went to the bathroom. 9 hours. Got home like at 1 o'clock in the morning since 3 o'clock being in line. It was ridiculous, honestly. But, you know, you do what you have to do because I had to work the next day. So that's still cooking. And then my ricey, it's already getting a little bit white. You're going to see it turn white. Can you see that? It's just roasting in there with the garlic. The smell is amazeballs, honestly. We're just going to let it cook. We'll come back in a minute to check on our rice and our meat. Okay, so my rice is pretty browned already, if you can see. So for every cup of rice, you're always going to add 2 of water, and it has to be boiling. So I'm going to add 1. And then, hear the sizzle. Hold on. And we're going to use the tomato sauce. And I'll use all of it. And we're going to put a little bit of Nor Suiza in here. About 2 tablespoons. And I'll taste it once it comes to a boil. And salt. Don't want to put a lot because you don't want a salty rice. Okay. So we're going to bring it to a good boil. And then we're going to put it on really low heat. You want all the flavors to marry together. So once it comes to a full boil, I'll bring it down a little bit. You'll see. It'll be quick because everything was already hot. So I'm just going to turn it down about that much, and then I'm gonna cover it. Okay, and now we're just waiting on our potatoes here, which it looks about ready, so I can incorporate all the sauce that we already blended together. I'm gonna go ahead and do that. Oh my god, this smells amazing. So there's all of our salsa. And since our sauce already had a lot of the flavor, I'm going to wait for it to come to a boil to taste, see what it needs, a little bit of salt, or we'll see. We're just going to bring that also to a boil and to a good cook so all the potatoes can cook together. We're just going to let that sit for a little while, and we'll be back when the rice is almost ready. I'll show you half in so you guys can see the how it should be looking. So I checked my rice. All the water is absorbed, and I am going to add more water to this. So hold on. Just make sure that the water you're adding is hot water. And I'm just gonna put it on the sides because you want to finish cooking it. Because if you see white on it, that means that it's still not fully cooked, and you want to eat fully cooked rice. Okay, so I'm moving it, don't stir, just a little bit. So we'll see if it needs more water after I added that one, okay? We'll come back in a few minutes. It smells so good. It's super hot, so I'm just gonna get a little bit, because look at this. Steaming, delicious. My mouth is watering. You can taste the smokiness from the chipotle. It has a little bit of heat only. The season is perfect. The potatoes are well done. The onions are all nice and cooked. I'm gonna eat more, hold on. Get some onion in there. So hot, but so good. Oh, my tummy needed this. I was so hungry. One more. Oh! So good. So don't forget, please follow me on YouTube, subscribe, like, watch my videos, comment on them. Tell me if you've made them or if you have any advice for me. I'm open. My Instagram is Fabulosity. Just go ahead and follow me. And thank you. I love going places and people say, hey, I know you. You're the YouTube lady. I went to a party recently and this whole family, the nicest family ever, they all came up to me. I felt more famous than the band that they had there, honestly. But thank you so much, and don't forget to follow me. Love you.